So, I was out with a few friends the other week at the Burgess Shale in British Columbia, and we were chipping away at those Cambrian fossils, and we came across something really, really strange. So in amongst all of the fossilized Opabinia, Hallucinogenia, these various fossilized arthropods, precordates, and some bunnies, we stumbled across what has got to be the greatest find in all of the history of the Earth. It was a book. It was totally encased in rock. Looked very old, and we just started chipping away at it. And once we got down to the book itself, cleaned it off, and this is what we found. I don't know if you can see that there. It's the Super Bible. My God. So this is it. This is the next big step. This is the book that will revolutionize all of humanity forever. So what's inside the book? Obviously, that is what the world is waiting to know. It's going to be its next big message from God himself. This is what he's decided that now the humanity on all of Earth is ready to find out. So let me share it with you. Okay, so chapter 1. Dear everybody, as you may know, it's been quite a while since my last book was published, but there's a good reason for that. I've been putting in a lot of face time with the inhabitants of a smallish planet on the far side of the Andromeda Galaxy, and haven't really been around your quadrant of the Milky Way since about the year 920. And wow, have you guys come a long way since I last checked things out. When I first checked back in, I was a little disappointed. It really looked like you'd figured the whole joke out, and yes, many of you had, but on a little closer observation, I can see that the majority are still falling for it, so I figured I had better come clean. Yes, it was all a joke. Pan and I were getting high one night, and he talked me into writing this really long book with all kinds of crazy rules that were impossible to follow and rarely made any sense. It seemed hilarious at the time, but then things started getting out of hand, so I figured it would be best to just step back and stop interfering, but that didn't seem to work, so I just took off and left altogether. Well, clearly that hasn't helped much either. Yes, plenty of you guys are smart enough to figure out you can just ignore everything I write, but there are millions of people who would literally believe their ass was on top of their head if it said so in Leviticus. I guess that's true. So here it is. Super Bible. And this time, I promise I'm not joking. I'm a lot more mature, and I'm a lot less interested in dicking you guys around. So just to make things clear, here are a few facts. First off, I'm not really responsible for much of anything. I only came into existence about 10,000 years ago, and the universe is like 1,000,000 times older than me. I was being really arrogant, and I thought it would be awesome if everybody believed I created them and I was responsible for the Earth and everything else. The whole creation of life thing just sort of happened. I wasn't even there, but as many of the more intelligent amongst you know, with the wild variety of chemicals and their reactions throughout this place, it's pretty much inevitable, and it would still be inevitable if the nature and laws of the universe were very different. All it would mean is that the life itself would be very different. Makes sense? Things just started evolving. It got out of control, and now there's tons of different types of life around. Oh, and here's a big one. Please, please, please stop quoting from my earlier works as though anything I said back then proves anything you think. I was joking. Stop taking it so seriously. Oh, and most importantly, even saying I exist is pretty stupid. Through a very complicated process involving your consciousness, imagination, and some of the more bizarre properties of neutrons and positrons, I'm able to author a series of books, but I don't really exist in any real sense. It's complicated, but trust me, it's all connected to natural process. I would not have guessed that at all. Wow. Now that I've got that out of the way, I'd like you to read my new novel and tell me what you think. It's a coming-of-age story about a young girl grappling with her sexuality and the divorce of her parents. I'm going to leave it there. I did read his novel, and it's kind of lame and not very well written, but wow. I'm not sure what to say. This really does change everything. Wow.